He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, talk about liberty, and yes, talk about the pursuit of happiness, and we show the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. I hope you're having a good one, because remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. A lot of stuff happening, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of stuff happening, and I want to jump right into it. But before that, I do want to ask you, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button on the platform you're listening on, if that's Apple, Google, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button on your chosen platform where you get podcasts. Let's continue to make this podcast grow. I believe we are one of the fastest growing political podcasts in the nation. This ain't just my opinion. This is according to FeedSpot, where we sit at 48 on the latest polls. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we had another mass shooting, and I didn't report on this the last episode because we recorded our show a day before this event happened. We had the whole episode recorded. So I just decided to wait. And it's good to do that sometimes. It's good to sit back and just see how everything plays out. And ladies and gentlemen, this shooting has a lot of areas I want to get into. One, please pray for the families. Every time we hear of a mass shooting like this, we have to remember that there were people involved. We could talk politics. We can go ahead and lay out our opinion of gun rights and white supremacy and all this stuff. We can do that. I'm not against voicing our opinions and our political beliefs on that. But we have to remember the families. And I always say this, please pray for the families in your time of prayer, in your time of interceding with the Lord, or your thoughts. Go ahead and pray for the family. That is the thing we need to focus on about these events. Because unfortunately, look, gun violence will always happen, unfortunately. Taking away guns won't stop that. So, and look, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, this is going to be the last shooting because they did this, this, and this. It's not going to happen. But every time something happens like this and beyond this, I always say pray for the families. I did it for the Covenant shooting. I asked you for prayer for the other mass shootings that happened this year. Please keep the families in your prayer. It is very important we do this. And I'm going to let the families know, if they're listening, you have our hearts. We know you lost loved ones, and we're praying for you here at the Cajun Conservative Show. All right, so let's get into some of the details. This is from the Daily Wire. At least 8 killed by mass shooter at Texas Outlet Mall. Law enforcement respond to a report of an active shooter at Allen Premium Outlets in Texas Saturday afternoon, and have confirmed that at least 8 people were killed and another 7 people were injured by a lone gunman. Now, it is said that this gunman did have an AR style 15 rifle. He went into this mall. He went ahead and just went ahead and did what he wanted to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, first off, I'm gonna address the shooter, because I'm not gonna name him, because I do agree with the Daily Wire's position on we should not amplify or promote mass shooters. These were criminals. These are people that you can argue mental health. I argue more spiritually, where I feel that a lot of these people don't know love, don't know Christ. They're trying to fill a void, and they can't fill that void with video games, or they can't fill this void with changing their gender. They can't fill this void by trying to doing something earthly. They cannot fill that void they can't fill that void of love. They can't fill that void with anything of this world. There's only one thing that can fill the void in a person's heart, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the one that separates the brokenhearted and makes it men. He takes that heart of cold and stone and he makes it into a heart of flesh, the Bible says. Now, I don't know about this person. There is some speculations around this person we're going to deal with later on. But majority of these shooters, they say it's they're mentally disabled or mentally unstable. And that, like I said, I think this is more spiritual. I will stick with that all day long. But unfortunately, this person had a terrible background. Now, if we go to the media side of it, like I did at the beginning, where I talked about the families, hey, let's pray for the families. Let's ask the Lord to help the families. Let's try to get that part out the way. No, they go straight to politics, where Joe Biden, this is according to Town Hall, Joe Biden calls to restrict Americans' gun rights following deadly shooting. He is calling again for federal firearms to be locked away. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you that one more gun law would not have stopped what happened last Saturday. You wouldn't have had this individual who was a criminal. And I don't know if he was a legal immigrant. I know he had a job here. I heard he had to have an interpreter wherever he went. But ladies and gentlemen, it did. I'm trying to voice my opinion without jumbling up my words. This person had evil intentions in his heart. Okay? If this person would have went ahead and said, I want to hurt somebody, and he did not have a gun at his disposal, he would have picked something else to hurt the people. I was told by a friend earlier that someone went ahead and hurt people with a truck. Just drove past them and hit them with a truck. So do we ban trucks because this individual who had evil in his heart decided to use the machine to go ahead and to hurt people? Do we blame the do we blame the truck? Oh no, it was the driver in the truck. But if you go ahead and talk about that with gun violence, it's the guns the problem. And Biden never misses opportunity. Karine Jean-Pierre doesn't miss opportunity. No politician on the left misses the opportunity to say, well, we're going to go ahead and blame the guns. None of them stop. None of them stop and think, hey, it could be the person. No, we have to restrict the machine he used to execute his violence. But the president comes out and he says, well, we need to ban firearms. And look, I don't know how many times I have to come on this podcast and do this. Some people on the left is like, please stop. But other conservatives, no, we need to keep it going because some people don't like hearing me talk and bring out facts. Ladies and gentlemen, this person would have executed violence if he could not find a firearm. But because he used the firearm, now we have politicians, people on the left saying, hey, we need to ban all firearms. How would this situation would have been different if there wasn't a firearm? And you can hear the left, well, it wouldn't have happened if he didn't have a firearm. Really? Well, what would have happened if he would have found a knife? Or would have got in his pickup truck or got in his vehicle and went ahead and slammed people all over the place? The gun isn't the issue. It's the heart. It's the person's heart that says, I feel a void and I need something to fill it in. And instead of looking to the Lord or to other things to fill that void, he goes ahead and I'm going to fill it with violence. Now, I want to talk about the why this shooting happened according to the media. Because it just isn't the guns that's the issue. They are bringing in race in this. No, now put aside the fact that this person was not a white male. I believe he was Hispanic. Was he legal or not legal? I'm not going to say yes or no because I would have to go ahead and look that up. And people might say, well, why don't you have that now? I have 20 news articles in front of me. We had a busy news week. But this gunman was a Hispanic. And when the news broke out that this happened, it was funny how they tied this up to right-wing, white nationalist, white supremacy people. Because, and I heard one news pundit say like this: they found a post on a Russia social media site where this person was throwing out anti-Semitic quotes, and he had tattoos of Nazi symbols. He was a white supremacist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is all coming on the heel of the Covenant shooting in Tennessee, where there's a known manifesto of the person that shot up the school in Nashville, Tennessee. But we cannot get that document. We cannot get that document to tell us what happened on that day or what was the motives of that individual. But few hours after this shooting, oh, we know he's a white nationalist. Oh, we know he's a racist. We know he's a homophobe. Besides the fact that he was a person of a different race than white, but according to Ana Navarro from The View, which is on my list of how the heck did they get on TV, made a statement: being Hispanic or being black does not make you immune from being a white supremacist. I'm gonna get back to that in a little bit. Just think about it. She said, if you are a opposite race of the white race, you can still be a white supremacist. Think about this, okay? You can be a white supremacist and you're not white. But anyway, we hear within hours that this person is a white nationalist. We hear that he's a white supremacist. That he's a part of the alt-right. My dad said he was watching the news and they were like, oh, he's part of a right-wing conspiracy group. All within a couple of hours. But ladies and gentlemen, the Nashville shooting, we still don't know about the manifesto. Well, we have not seen the manifesto. Why? Well, we don't want to interrupt the investigation. The person that executed the violence is no longer with us. Being mildly, is no longer with us, and they still, or we don't want to hide that document because it might hurt our investigation. You're investigating a dead person. And look, I know why. And look, people might say, well, hold on, that's a conspiracy, that's whatever. I know why they don't want to release that manifesto, because it makes the LGBTQ community look bad. And that goes against the media narrative. The media is pushing that, hey, this gender ideology is good. But now we don't know what's in the manifesto. All we can do is assume. But whatever's in that manifesto, that goes against their ideology on the left. But you see this right here. Now, granted that the fact that he isn't a white person, but he's a white nationalist and he holds on to views of the right, that fits their narrative. You even had some people on the left comparing the Republican Party to terrorist groups. Hey, let a Republican say that about the Democrat Party. You will not. You will be crucified. But people on the left say that about the right. And look, they pick and choose what they want to keep promoting, because this shooting is still being talked about at the time of this recording. But ladies and gentlemen, they're saying, oh, he's a white nationalist. Oh, he's this. Oh, it fits their narrative, so they push it to poison the minds of the American people. You got to realize, hey, the two things they attack most is, hey, guns are bad, racism are bad, so we have to go ahead and show, and the only ones that are racist is the Republican Party. So we have to go ahead and shove that down people's throat to show them how bad the Republican Party is. Now, like I said, a lot of these stories, because when they were talking about it, they didn't know a lot, especially when the news broke, they didn't know he was Hispanic. And it goes to the point of, and it's going to end to the, I picked up something different with this Ana Navarro story when she made that comment on The View. I said earlier, being Hispanic or being black does not make you immune from being a white supremacist. Well, where's the base claim for that? Where is the base claim for that? Because she made this statement because this person was a Hispanic. Oh, that don't immune him from being a white supremacist. Well, white supremacy is supposed to only be for people that are white. Now, you know why she made this statement? Because it did not fit the narrative. See, if he was a white supremacist and he wasn't white, well, that ruins that argument. But he's not immune to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna make a statement right here. And look, this tragedy's bad, but this is the mindset of liberals like Ana Navarro, who make statements like this, that if you're a Democrat or if you are a minority, Hispanic, black, or whatever, and you don't agree with the left's agenda, you must be a white supremacist. And because this person had Nazi writing on his body and he had some views of the right, he was a white supremacist. It didn't matter what color of his skin was. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this about the shooter. If he had neo-Nazi thoughts, he was already evil. I don't care if he's white. I don't care if he's black. I don't care if he's Hispanic. If somebody believes like that, they're evil. And they have a certain agenda. And it's not an agenda of peace. It's an agenda of evil. But Ana Navarro making out a statement like this is kind of, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. It's hard because there's so much I want to say, but I want to make sure you, the audience, can understand what I'm about to say. This narrative that, he wasn't white, but he still was a white supremacist, kind of blows up their argument of white supremacy. Because white supremacy is a concept of one race is inferior than the other. And the inferior race has to take out all the rest of the race. That's white supremacy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he had some neo-Nazi thoughts, so we're going to leave it like that. But ladies and gentlemen, does this whole gun story, and like I said, another mass shooting that we should not be talking about. But at the same, and let me clarify my statement with that too. I say not talking about. This shouldn't have happened. Okay. Now you can make the argument because like Greg Abbott made the argument that this is mental health. You have the left saying, well, this is a gun issue. If he wouldn't have had the gun, because even Chuck Schumer saying he's going to try to pass more gun legislation through the Senate and all that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, both political parties. And this is why I say we shouldn't be talking about it. We should have a nation full of God-fearing people, but we don't. You have two parties right here, and this is going to be my final thought. You have two parties in America. The Republican Party saying it's mental health, and you have the Democrat Party saying, well, it is gun control issue. We need to get rid of the gun. Ladies and gentlemen, look, you can have those debates politically. But as Christians, we need to say, hold on, we have a spiritual problem in America. We have people that are hurting, people that are confused, and the church is keeping their mouth shut. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't say, hey, we should look and say it might be a mental health issue. We can even go ahead and say it might be a gun control issue. But it's a spiritual issue in America. And look, the reason people have these thoughts of white supremacy, which I go ahead and condemn. I condemn any white supremacist. They're wrong. They're evil. I've always said on this microphone, if you believe a race is inferior to you, you need your head examined. There's a spiritual problem in this place. And this is why, I don't know if this is why this man did this. We don't have a manifesto, or all you can have is the Russian social media posts. Ladies and gentlemen, he was evil. And because he was evil, because he did not have God in his life. But you have the politicians talk about mental health and gun control. And you can have them debates. But ladies and gentlemen, as I grow older and I see these mass shooters and the way they act, they're missing something. And I can understand the argument of people. We need to stop these mass shootings. These mass shootings won't stop until revival breaks out in America. And the only reason I said it is if you look at history, when America was in a dark place, it was a man of God standing up and preaching, hey, repent, and things turn around. Until that happens, we're going to continue having these shootings. And unfortunately, more people are going to be hurt. And this is hurtful for me to say this. But guess what? If a nation turns on their knees and asks the Lord for forgive them, we wouldn't have a gun problem. We wouldn't have a mass shooting problem in America, because people would turn to the one that is good and not look to the one that is evil. And right now, we are looking at the ones that are evil. And it's sad, folks. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a few moments. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
With your blood, cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment. As I was saying in the last segment, when evil abounds, you get terrible things that happen. And when you have a nation that's pushing that narrative of evil, you're gonna go ahead and have a country that's not being run right. Why do I say this? Well, it is reported by Breitbart that after school Satan Club gains popularity. Leaders hope to teach tenets of satanic temple. That's from Breitbart. So basically, an after-school program is being pushed by the Church of Satan to teach kids witchcraft and to teach people how to be disciples of Satan. And people wonder, because I have 2 points with this, and this is my first point. People wonder why our nation is going to hell in a handbasket. Because we have people in this nation that are teaching kids satanic stuff. And look, it's just not these Satan clubs or these Satan churches that are doing this. Our movies today are promoting witchcraft. Our nation is being pushed into witchcraft. And look, when you get rid of God and you get rid of things in this nation or you get rid of anything good, you have a void there, and evil will take that void up. Oh, Isaac, why we got mass shootings? Why we have things that are happening in this country that we can't believe is happening? Why we have people confused about what gender they are? The lack of God. And because we have a lack of God, the devil's going to come in and he's going to go ahead and he's going to try to fill in that void. And look, I'm not saying this is the cause of all our problems, but this is helping the cause of our problems. I'm going to say it like this. Now, my second point is why we have people crying when we have after-school Bible studies on public school campuses. Because in this article, these clubs had to sue school districts and people to continue to have these clubs in the school. Because it's a student oriented, and look, we promote after school programs. You know, if a student wants to have a Bible study after school, they can have a school club that has a Bible study. Turning Point USA acts. There's one individual that goes ahead and starts up clubs in campuses. There's a 15-year-old boy from one of the local towns that tried to go ahead and put a conservative club after school, and guess what? They told him no. They told him, no, you cannot do that. And now he fought it, and he got the club into the school. It was a conservative club. But these clubs right here, the satanic clubs, are going into our school, and they are practicing witchcraft. And we have people that don't fight against it. But let this same school say, we're going to have a Christian club after school. The ACLU and every atheistic, satanic group out there will say, no, that is unconstitutional because it's separation of church and state. But the satanic group can do it. And like I said, it's kind of, and look, I talked about the evilness of the heart. I know this is a political podcast, but I feel like preaching here. You have mass shootings all over this nation. And you have two political parties saying one's mental health, the other one says, no, it's guns, and we need to ban guns. But no politician that I'm aware of is saying we have an absence of God in this nation. And we are pushing God further and further out this nation. And then we have satanic groups saying, hey, y'all pushing God out, we're going to move right on in. And if you're a believer of Jesus Christ, you need to pray for these kids. I'm a youth pastor. I know their kids are influenceable. Ladies and gentlemen, a satanic class, a satanic club in the school. And nobody says nothing. The only one I see in this article is Breitbart. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's funny how nobody talks about this. Or when we do talk about it, because I'm probably going to get people tell me, oh, Isaac, if you don't like it, just don't bring your kids to it. Those will be the same kids, the same people that are going to be protesting outside of a school if a church or a member of a church that's a student there says, I want to have an open Bible study in this afternoons for a book club. Oh, separation of church and state. You can't have it both ways. But this is one of the reasons why our nation is failing like it is. All right, moving on. Biden family received millions from foreign nations and tried to conceal sources of funds, House Oversight Committee. This came out today. I'm trying to think of his name. James Comer went ahead. The House Oversight and Accountability Committee said that the Biden family and his business associates created more than 20 companies and received more than $10 million from foreign nations while Joe Biden served as vice president, and that some of these payments could indicate attempts by the Biden family to ponder influence. Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember, and I remember some of my friends that are on the left, they did this. We can't wait for Trump to get out of office. Oh, it's going to be nice to have a scandal-free president. Ladies and gentlemen, this all came from the laptop from hell, by the way. A lot of it. The laptop from hell is what opened the can of worms for the Biden investigations. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 million from foreign nationalists. 10 million. People wonder, and look, was Biden's influence on being as VP helped with all this? Yes, because according to the Oversight and Accountability Committee, it could have been been attempts by the Biden family to ponder influence. How many nations gave to? Now we don't know all the details. This just broke a few minutes ago before coming on air, and I had to squeeze it into the show notes because, like I said, there was with the mass shooting and with everything going on, there's a lot happening this week, especially for this episode. But the committee chairman, James Comer, released a memo ahead of the press conference Wednesday that included new information from the investigation into the Biden family's influence pondering and business scheme. The memo said that the Biden family appeared to take steps to conceal the sources and the total amount received from the foreign companies. The committee has subpoenaed 4 different banks as part of its probe and received thousands of records in response. These subpoenas were tailored to significant individuals, companies that engage in business activity with the Biden family members and their business associates, the memo said. Ladies and gentlemen, while Vice President Biden, they created 20 companies and received $10 million from foreign nationalists. Nations. While Joe Biden served as president. Now look, all you people that thought we had a scandal-free president, no. Ladies and gentlemen, President Biden is being influenced, but he's influencing. Let me say it like this: Biden. I'm trying to put it in a good way. It's hard. It's hard to when you hear stuff like this because as an American, you like how you have these investigations going on, and liberals will say, "Well, y'all have the House investigate." We have investigations like this that show Biden could be compromised, and they'll tell you no. A lot of people will tell you no, that you're not. Biden is not compromising. Biden can't be influenced by another nation because they gave him something. As more and more of these reports come out, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good for the Biden family. And look, it was a note earlier. I think it was like additional 9 family members of Biden benefited from this. Ladies and gentlemen, that source was from Fox News, by the way. Tucker Carlson's new show on Twitter. This is breaking Twitter. Tucker Carlson on Twitter said that he was going to go ahead and do a new show on the only free speech platform out there, which I disagree. I disagree a little bit with Tucker on that because we are on several platforms and we only been censored twice, to my knowledge. Usually you would get emails saying, hey, you have a strike or you're being censored or you're being taken off the air because of community guidelines. If you have to look at free speech platforms, you would have to go ahead and exclude Rumble. But Rumble is a totally free speech platform. You also have True Social where you can go ahead and say a lot of things. Now, there is some social media accounts that are not totally free speech, but Tucker made the announcement saying that he's going to be back with the show. Now, Elon Musk has responded because a lot of people, there was leaked reports of him meeting with Elon Musk. Elon Musk said no, he's going to have to follow the community guidelines. He's going to have to do everything that he's supposed to do. He just can't say random stuff and try to make claims on it. So, but ladies and gentlemen, I said this before. All the left was, Tucker Carlson's gone. No, he's not gone. I promise you, when he goes ahead and puts this show together, he's going to become a #1 hit right away. Now, I never heard, and I'm in the podcast game. I've been in the podcast game now for 3.5 years. I never thought of using Twitter as an avenue for a podcast or a show. Now, it has been revealed as of lately. I think the Daily Wire is putting full-length episodes onto Twitter. I don't know if they're doing podcasts or whatnot. If that would happen, we would be on that platform. Because every time, I'm used for prime example, Facebook. When Facebook did Facebook podcasting, they reached out to us. We went ahead and jumped on it right away. We did get some audience from Facebook. And unfortunately, Facebook said, we're going to go ahead and pull that off. But ladies and gentlemen, we would have been on that platform. Now, I never heard, like I said, I never thought of Twitter as that. We put videos up. We put our shorts and we put our TikTok videos on Twitter. But I promise you, there's going to be at least a couple of million people join Twitter if they have not already. And they're going to go ahead and sign, and they're going to listen to Tucker Carlson. The benefits of this. Well, Tucker is a free person now. I think that's why he's going on Twitter and he's doing his own thing. He don't have to go ahead and be restricted by Fox News. Now, with this other incident, however, we did hear Tucker, I think, is trying to sue Fox News, and there is reports he's going to throw Fox News under the bus because Fox News breach of contract. Now, they did fire, well, they didn't fire him. They parted ways, but if my understanding is correct, he is still under contract with Fox. So he really can't go on TV unless someone like Newsmax or One News Network or somebody of that nature says, hey, we're going to buy that contract. But Tucker, on social media, apparently he's free to do it. So Tucker Carlson doing this, it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't have the restrictions of Fox News. The same thing with this show. I am independent. I am not signed by a brand, so I can flow pretty freely on this program. But Fox News, but Tucker Carlson is starting. Now, I will say this, and this is why the left, I think, is pulling their hair out. When he released this video, I believe it was Tuesday, and the last time I looked at it, which was last night and 2 days prior from the drop of this episode, he already hit 6 million views on his video. Ladies and gentlemen, and it was only like an hour and a half. If I hit 1,000 views, I'm happy on one of my shorts or my videos. But he hit 6 million views on Twitter. Now, this wasn't also people watching it after, or like on Breitbart or whatever. But we're gonna have to see. All right, so one more news article before we get into the break. President Joe Biden, Democrat leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and Kevin McCarthy and McConnell, the turtle, had a meeting. They had a meeting on the debt ceiling crisis last Tuesday night. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before this meeting, they asked the president if there was any way that a deal could be reached. He was saying, well, we're hoping, but I'm not going to give in to budget cuts. When McCarthy was asked, hey, do you see any way passing a debt ceiling without budget cuts? He said no. So this meeting went on for a little while. I think it was like an hour. It wasn't long. Biden chased the media out of the room. And he went ahead and just, they basically just talked, but there was no outcome of this. We are still in a pickle. We have 2 weeks before the United States defaults on its debts. And now we start the blame game. Karine Jean-Pierre roasted for a wrong article. The Republican Party is blaming the president, which I believe is rightly so, because Kevin McCarthy, at the end of when he finished the meeting, said, look, nothing came out of it. People started saying, well, why can't you pass a debt? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the Congress passed a bill to raise the debt ceiling. It does feature cuts in it, but they did pass a bill. It is sitting in the Senate. Who's running the Senate? The Democrat Party. So if the Democrat Party don't push it, it's not going to go to the president's desk. Now, the president is part of the Democrat Party. Also, the president waited 97 days to start negotiations back with the Republican Party to raise the debt ceiling. Now you have the Republican Party, I believe, are saying, right, hey, it was the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is holding the debt ceiling for rising. Now the Democrats are blaming the Republican Party because, they're cutting this stuff and they're just not giving us a clean deal to raise the debt ceiling. We can't default on our debts. You need to just raise the debt ceiling with no limits. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got a question just for you to ponder while you're listening. One group of people said we're going to raise the debt ceiling. We're going to cut some programs down, but we will raise the debt ceiling. Here's our bill. But you have the Democrats saying, we're going to raise the debt ceiling, no limits attached. That's all they offered. And ladies and gentlemen, look, Biden said, I believe it was in 2011, where he said, look, you can't just say it's my way or the highway. You got to talk over it. Ladies and gentlemen, the president is saying it's my way or the highway. Who's at fault? Who's at fault for this? And look, this meeting, I knew I would have to address it, and that's why I brought it up. This meeting right here didn't do nothing. They went in there, and I believe it was someone. I'm trying to remember who it was, but someone made the made the comment to Kevin McCarthy. They asked him, or Kevin McCarthy asked the question, Mr. President, is there anything that we can do to raise it with cuts? And the president said no. And McCarthy was like, well, we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, I've talked about the debt ceiling. I've went ahead and talked about it a number of times. But ladies and gentlemen, this right here shows that the Democrat Party is not willing to work with the Republican Party. Because if they were, they would have went in that meeting and they would have came out with a deal. Or they would have kept negotiations. We don't know when the next negotiation is for this debt ceiling crisis. And ladies and gentlemen, this is scary. We don't know what's going to happen with this. What's going to happen if America defaults on its debts? Now, Karine Jean-Pierre was scorned by roasted for comparing the debt ceiling debate to monthly car payments. Say, how about the student loans? Karine Jean-Pierre is saying, well, you got to pay your car payment. You already spend that money. You got to pay them back and all this stuff. They want us to go ahead and use the example of a car payment, but they want to forgive student loans debts. So if we have to pay our loans, let's go with their terminology. If we have to pay our loans as a country and pay our loans for car payments, don't we have to pay our student debt? And there's multiple tweets of that right there. But ladies and gentlemen, Karine Jean-Pierre, she lies so much. We're about to talk about the border. She said Biden went to the border multiple times. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the whole thing right here. We're not going to get a deal done, unfortunately. We got 2 weeks, so one or the other is going to have to cave. Now, I hope it ain't the Republican Party. But I honestly feel this way. The Democrat Party would rather see the country fail or try something very extreme to get the debt ceiling up than to work with the Republican Party. To me personally, it would look better if they worked together to get this deal done. But no, you have two parties. And look, I'm on the side of the right. I think the Republicans are right. Look, we passed our bill. We gave a budget. We own the House. Y'all need to pass it. But the Democrats want to go to the extreme. And I think it would look better for both of them if they work together. But unfortunately, you're having one party, which is the Democrat Party, not willing to work with the Republican Party to get this deal done. And in the results, the Democrat Party is going to ruin our nation by not helping with the debt ceiling. With that being said, we'll be right back in a few moments after this break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed, like Isaac. I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. So let's go ahead and start out at the border. Border Patrol clears way for more migrants released to city streets. Sources say the dam is about to break. Now, when this episode is released, it'll be Thursday morning, May 11th. That is when Title 42 will be lifted, and that's where close to 700,000 migrants are planning to flood the border. Now, we've reported that Biden has sent 1,500 troops. It is also said that Greg Abbott sent 545 National Guardsmen to deploy before Title 42 expires. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem. You have 700-some thousand people coming across that border. What is 2,000-some men are going to do with that? Or guards people? Because we might, women that are served. Ladies and gentlemen, 2,000 to 700,000. It's not an easy task. Now, what I am understanding that this is just to help bring in the people and that they can situate them. Which this is another ironic thing as well. that you're gonna accept people into this country and put them into, I guess, apparently tent cities or something of that nature. You got, because they're saying they're gonna put them in the streets. So whatever border town receives all these people, you're gonna put these people in the streets in America. Now, President Biden did say he talked to the president of Mexico to try to figure out something. But ladies and gentlemen, they're still going to come across, and we're still going to have to deal with them. Now, enraged border agents accuse Biden administration of sabotaging operations, activists taking over law enforcement. And ladies and gentlemen, it's just not the border. You know how many times Biden had activists give him advice, global, there's still talks of the Democrat Party regulating gas stoves and washing machines. That ain't logical people thinking of that. Oh, well, we want to stop people from using gas for the environment. These are activists. These are people, and look, I can understand the name of the environment, whatever, but these people that are pushing this, I honestly feel they're trying to take away our freedoms. And ladies and gentlemen, there's this border thing. A lot of these people that are in office, including Biden, believes in open borders, that we should not have borders. And if you don't have borders, you're not a country. You're just a continent. And this whole Title 42 thing, look, I understand it has to be lifted off sometime or another, because this was a pandemic rule that Trump implemented, but it was already in the rules. But ladies and gentlemen, I agree with that statement. The border agent that says activists are taking over law enforcement. And you see the Black Lives Matters and their riots of 2020. The border, but you can't. You remember the last time we had a big surge like this? Border Patrol agents were trying to grab somebody on a horseback, and they said they were whipping them with a whip. Ladies and gentlemen, this whole border thing, it's just, these people are coming here. I understand some of them are coming for a better life, but at the same time, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. And mind you, all these people are coming illegally, not legally. They just think they can come into our country and go in. And look, I want to ask a question, because this is a question that needs to be asked. What if 700,000 Americans, which would never happen, but let's just imagine, 700,000 Americans say, we're going to walk over Mexico. We're just going to walk over. We're gonna go ahead and use their system of government. We're going to go ahead and invade their way of lives. Let's just 700,000 Americans just go walk over the border. I bet you would have the army for Mexico waiting at the border telling people, no, you cannot come. But we have our president calling the Mexican president and saying, hey, what should I do about this situation? This is the same president that says that the Republican Party keeps on speaking negative about immigrants going to United States. He's going to go ahead and try to influence people to vote Democrat. I thought that was wrong, that another nation influencing other people's elections or other nations' elections. White House claims Republicans literally refuse to act on immigration as GOP proutes vote on major border bill. This is from the White House. And look, all this stuff is Biden's fault. The border was secure. We were not having people come in. But we got Biden in there, and Biden reversed everything, which it is reported, I'm going to hurry up and read that a major reversal, Biden re-implements Trump border policy ahead of Title 42 repeal. So he's putting it to, and this policy is, you cannot ask for asylum while you're in the United States. You have to ask asylum for the first country you say you are in, and then you go to the next one. But anyway, going back to that, Biden is blaming the White House at least is blaming the Republicans and saying they literally refuse to act upon immigration as GOP proutes bill on major border bill. So again, the Republican Party is doing their job. They're putting a bill together to protect the border, but the Democrats are saying no, is the Republicans' fault. See, the Republicans are moving forward with something, but the Democrats are saying no. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Wednesday blamed Republicans for the chaotic situation at the U.S.-Mexican border, claiming that GOP lawmakers literally refused to act, even as the House will vote Thursday on sweeping border security legislation. Now let's go back. Who's refusing to act? Well, the Republican Party isn't. They're putting a bill together to send it up for a vote on Thursday when Title 42 exit. Or if you're listening on Thursday, today, May 11th. Now, Joe Biden threatened to veto Republican border reform. Who's to blame? Who's to blame for the border crisis? The Democrats? Yes. Oh no, Isaac, is the Republicans. They refuse to act, as Karine Jean-Pierre says. How are they refusing to act? They're doing their job. They are doing the job. They're passing legislation to secure the border. But no, it's not the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. It's not the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. Because the Republicans are refusing to act. It's funny how Biden, like I just said, went ahead and just passed this reversal of a plan that Trump put into place, that you had to ask for amnesty in your own country. But ladies and gentlemen, look, before Biden did that as well, there was nothing. Hey, we're just going to end Title 42. Well, what about all the migrants? Well, we'll worry about that when we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just. And look, I'm sorry. Look, I have a heavy heart today. I do. I have a heavy heart. It's because I'm seeing our nation go down. I hate to say it. I see our nation going down, and it stinks. It stinks, especially all this week. You have the confusion of Hunter Biden and the Biden family crime syndicate that's going out there, and you know that they did things that were not lawful. You have a president that gives the border to Kamala Harris, who has a less favorable approval rating than him. He's blaming the Republican Party for everything that's bad that's happening this week, and he's at the fault for everything. Oh, Isaac, you're saying that because you're the right. Okay, you can have that argument if you want to, but a man that does not go ahead and set up negotiations to stop our debt crisis and to stop our border crisis, and has a son that's possibly going to go to jail. Ladies and gentlemen, what's the point of that? What I'm serious. What is the point of that right there? All right, moving on. White House reveals rules targeting journalists who refuse to be professional. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the Daily Caller, and the Daily Caller reported that the White House released new requirements Friday outlining which journalists are allowed in a briefing room in presidential events and warnings about unprofessional behaviors, speaking out of turn or questioning the press secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, the new rules require journalists to submit a letter to gain access to the White House grounds with information about their employment, mandating that the reporter worked for organizers who participate business in news dissemination. The rule comes as the administration has been facing rapid outbursts in the briefing room from reporters like Saman Aldabi, and comes days after the White House Freedom Day. Journalists have called on White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre for not giving fair representation in the briefing room, and the Biden administration has faced criticism from the press corps over unfair access to the White House events. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring you back to a little bit of history. Don't you remember when Donald Trump revoked CNN's White House press secretary, White House press reporter? Oh, he's a tyrant. He's taking out reporters. Oh, this is a sign of a tyrant and a dictator, censoring free speech from the people in America. Biden has not allowed Newsmax into the White House press briefing room since the beginning of his administration. I think it's OAN that cannot go into the press room, and people that act unprofessional can't make it into the press briefing. What you mean, calling out a lie? What happened to freedom of the press? And ladies and gentlemen, I can understand people on the left that are listening to this. Well, hold on, Isaac. And I get that argument all day. They're not taking away our freedom of speech. Biden is literally telling which news organization who can go into the White House press briefing room. Think about this. If you're part of CNN, ABC, you're welcome. But, you know, a lone journalist or a small-time newspaper? No. Because we're having unprofessional outbursts. And we can't have that. We can't have this outburst and holding us accountable. We can't have that. Ladies and gentlemen, don't you think they're trying to take away your rights? Now, there is another news article from the Daily Caller that says White House continues to restrict press access to Biden events, leaves empty seats. Ladies and gentlemen, he's restricting news reporters from doing their job. Now, they can probably watch it on television, but if they have a question, if Karine Jean-Pierre says a lie, and wait, hold on, Miss Karine, can you tell us why you believe this way and try to rebuttal what she said? They don't have the opportunity now. So Karine Jean-Pierre can go ahead and basically say whatever she wants and say whatever lies she wants. Also, the president can when he has these press conferences at the White House. And nobody can go ahead and say nothing. Now, this comes on the heels of him going on an interview where he says the media is giving me negative coverage. You're handpicking the people to go into that press room. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why it's called the freedom of the press. And I'm learning this right now. I am learning this. I go into a room and I say, hey, can I record? And if they say no, well, I'm not going to interview you. Ladies and gentlemen, the president is trying to restrict people from using their constitutional right, especially as journalists. Look, I don't agree with the MSNBC. I don't agree with CBS. I don't agree with CNN. But ladies and gentlemen, think about this. If you are a reporter, you have the right to be in that room. I understand it's the White House. I understand there's special things you have to do. But you don't get a press pass to the White House because you interrupted Karine Jean-Pierre, or you called her out on a lie. That is dangerous. And ladies and gentlemen, you remember Trump took out CNN. That was the biggest headline for 3 weeks. CNN can't get into the White House. This is tyranny. This is a dictator. This is this. Why ain't we calling this out? Ladies and gentlemen, Trump did one reporter. Biden did several news organizations. But you will not hear that on CNN. You will not hear that on MSNBC. Why? Because they got access in there and they agree with the president is doing. And it is dangerous. All right. So Trump was found guilty in a civil suit. Now, this comes after the heels of Trump leading in the polls. Trump is leading, I believe, a whopping 9 points in certain polls. I don't believe in all polls, especially this early. Then all of a sudden, that is pushed away because, as I said, the jury ruled that Trump was found liable for battery on E. Jane Carroll's defamation. This is from the Daily Wire. A federal jury in New York found that former President Donald Trump committed battery against Jane Carroll, a 79-year-old former columnist, and later defamed her while denying her claim that he raped her in a department store dressing room in the 1990s. The jury in the civil trial rejected Carroll's claim that Trump raped her, but the former president was ordered to pay a total of $5 million to Carroll, $2 million for battery, and $3 million for defamation. Now, I thought defamation meant that you were lying. Okay, and now this came the defamation video came out, and a lot of people said there was a shocker in it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw bits and pieces, but I'm still wondering why Trump still got to pay this woman $5 million. Now, I don't know the whole ins and outs of the case. Apparently, Trump went try to buy something, and he asked her to try on some clothes. She went in the dressing room, and she allegedly said she alleged that Donald Trump went in the room and forced himself upon her. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the jury says, that probably didn't happen. But because Trump said he didn't do it, he defamed her, and he got to pay $3 million. Well, he got to pay $2 million for battery and $3 million for defamation. Trump didn't lie. And the battery part, because he's saying, I don't know the woman. Ladies and gentlemen, and this was a New York case. People in New York don't like Donald Trump. The jury was 6 men and 3 women. They deliberated. They talked. I'm gonna say it like that. I can't speak today. For a little over 2.5 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, and then they came back and said, well, it was a unanimous decision. Hey, he didn't rape her, but he still got to pay her $5 million for battery and for defamation, making her look bad. Ladies and gentlemen, he just told them the truth. If a jury says, hey, he didn't rape her, well, why is he paying $5 million? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's on the point that he's been indicted of another crime. Now, this is a civil suit. It's not a criminal suit. But, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't do nothing wrong, but he still got to pay some money to the woman because he said he didn't do nothing wrong, and he made it known to everybody that he did not, that he didn't do nothing wrong. Now, Trump's lawyers are appealing this case, and I think they're going to win. Because I don't get that. Hey, he didn't do the crime that she said he did, but he still got to pay her $5 million for battery and for defamation. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump didn't lie. Trump just spoke the truth. And remember, defamation. Remember, that's why Fox News had to pay $700 million because they didn't tell the truth. Trump said, I don't know the woman, and she's not my type. I'm just not, I don't know who she is. But ladies and gentlemen, that alone, Trump has to pay money. And look, I know what this is, ladies and gentlemen. I know. And look, you can call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever. It's kind of funny. All these trials are happening right before the presidential election. It's kind of funny. All this is happening when Trump is trying to run for president, and they're trying to use any way, hook or crook, to stop him from running. And look, I'm not a Trump supporter. Not right now, at least. I made my feelings known about Trump and how I feel about him. If it came down to Trump and Biden, I'll vote for Trump. But ladies and gentlemen, I still will defend this man because he did not do nothing wrong, but he still got to pay a judgment to this lady. When a jury says, hey, her story don't match. But we're still going to stick something with Trump. So when the Democrats and the left goes ahead and runs ads, they can use that Trump had to pay $5 million for sexual encounter with this woman. This is all to defame Trump and to hurt Trump. And ladies and gentlemen, I wish the media, you know what would stop Trump? If the media stopped talking about him and glorifying him every chance they got. Because every time something like this happens, his supporters say, see, they're trying to stop him. All you have to do is shut up, media. All you have to do is shut up. But they won't do that. They have it in their mind. If we talk bad enough about Donald Trump, somehow or another, he's going to disappear. And I think Trump has proven, no, I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to do what I need to do. So with that being said, I want to thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. Remember, you can find us every Monday and Thursdays here on your favorite platform. Please remember to subscribe and to like the platform, subscribe and follow on the platform you're listening on. If you can remember to pray for this podcast and support this podcast with your prayers, I need it. A lot of stuff goes on. I do a lot of things in the background, and I could always use your prayers. So with that being said, thank you again. Please remember, Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior in heaven, your home. So until next time, be blessed. You have a good one.
Jesus Christ has risen. and He is the open door.